Dear students, hope you have gone through our previous videos. Once again, our wishes for success in KIM 2020. Let us answer some more questions. Okay, let's start. Here is the first question. Number of constitutional isomers of alkene with the formula C6H14. So this is a question from isomerism, I think. What are isomers? Molecules having same molecular formula but different structural or spatial arrangement are called isomers. So their structural formula or spatial arrangement may differ. Molecular formula will be same. If you are given a formula, we can predict the isomers by identifying the type of the molecule from their respective general formula. Okay. So, there are general formula for saturated molecule as CnH2n plus 2, alkene or cyclic molecule CnH2n, then CnH2nO or ether, etc. So let us go for the answer. So this one is the C is the answer. There are 5 isomers. So C6H14 belongs to an alkane. So you can identify the alkane because it's a 6 carbon atom alkane. Therefore, there may be 5 isomers. If it is CnH2n, then CnH2n may be an alkene or cyclo. I have given examples also. CnH2nO is there. Then ethyl alcohol or dimethyl. These two we call the functional group isomer. Here it is OH and here it is ether. So C6H14, 6 carbon atoms will be there. Then one substitution, either on third carbon, 1, 2, 3. Then on second carbon, 1, 2. This one also is second because if you count from this side, it will be second carbon atom. And double substitution includes 2,2-dimethyl butane or 2,3-dimethyl butane. So this is the answer. Let's go for the next question. Phenylacetylene on treatment with HgSO4, H2SO4, H2O produces. So this acetylenes generally undergo hydration reaction with mercuric sulfate and sulfuric acid. So this is a very common and popular reaction. Hydration means H is added to one side of the triple bond and OH is added to the other side. Then you will get a alcohol. But this alcohol is having a carbene bond. Therefore, this will undergo tautomerism. That proton will shift to a position of third atom and double bond will simultaneously shift. So, shift of a labile proton together with the shift of a double bond. That is tautomerism. So, let us go for the answer. So, acetophenone. This is the. So, if it was CH triple bond CH, HgSO4, H2SO4, it will give CH3CHO, an aldehyde. In all other cases, it will be a ketone. So, OH will be added here, H will be added here. So, it will be COH double bond CH2. Then this proton will shift to here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3 shift you call it as. And the double bond will shift simultaneously to this position and it will become a ketone. So one molecule of water is added to this bond. Therefore, it is termed as hydration reaction. Reagent needed is mercuric sulfate and sulfuric acid. Okay, let us move to the next one. Which of the following compounds are aromatic? So aromaticity, you know that even in cyclic compounds which are planar, due to the complete overlapping of delocalization of electron takes place and the molecule becomes more stable. And this is guided by a set of rules known as Huckel's rule. Huckel's rule states that there should be at least 4 n plus 2 pi electrons. If n is equal to 1, it is 6. N is equal to 2, 10, and so on. So these are the three conditions. Molecule should be planar, it should be cyclic, it should obey Huckel's rule, and it should be fully conjugated. Okay, let us go for the answer. So aromaticity is defined as a property of the conjugated cycloalkene, which enhances the stabilization of a molecule. Benzene is a typical example which possesses aromaticity. It is extremely stable in spite of 3 double bonds. All aromatic compounds obey Huckel's rule. That is, all the aromatic compounds should have 4n plus 2 pi electrons. Thus, if n is equal to 1, there should be 6 pi electrons. If n is equal to 2, there should be 10 pi electrons, and so on. Criteria is given here. 1. The molecule is cyclic. Molecule is planar. Molecule is fully conjugated. Molecule is 4n plus 2 pi electron. Okay. This structure has 2 double bonds, therefore 4 electrons. And there is a nitrogen atom in it also, there is 2 electrons. It is thus fully conjugated, hence it is aromatic. This compound 2 plus 2, 4 electrons. There is a pair of electrons because it is negatively charged. Total number of electrons 6 electrons and 6 pi electrons. Fully aromatic, fully conjugate, therefore aromatic. This compound positively charged here. Therefore, this is not a conjugated one. Uses conjugation. Only 4 electrons. Not obey Huckel's 4n plus 2 rule. The structure has 2 double bonds alone. This carbon atom is not overlapping with the other carbon atoms. Therefore, it is not fully conjugated. So, these two are aromatic. These two are non-aromatic. Answer is A and B are aromatic. The elution sequence of a mixture of compounds containing chlorobenzene, anthracene, and pyracrazole developed of an alumina column using a solvent system of progressively increasing polarity. So in order to separate components using column chromatography, we fill it with a suitable adsorbent for the substance to be separated from the top of the column. While moving down, its components will be separated. There will be specifically colored spots in the column. If it is having highest affinity towards adsorbent, it will be near the top of the column. If it is the lower end, its affinity is very, very low. So, in order to elute the substance, we have to use suitable solvents depending upon their polarity. Generally, a hydrocarbon is highly nonpolar. An halogen containing compound is slightly polar. OH group containing compound is generally polar. Alcohols are polar. Water molecule contains an. So let us go for the answer. This is the column. There are 2 colors. This indicates 2 different compounds. The lowest one is least adsorbed one. It will come out first. Then the second one. So extracting another. So elution is the process of extracting one material from another by washing with excess of solvent. So polarity is decided by the nature of a compound, whether an alkane, halogen or hydroxyl group. Alkanes are least polar, then halogens, and highest is the hydroxyl compound. Anthracene is a hydrocarbon, chlorobenzene, halogen containing compound. Cresol, alcoholic group. So this is the order of increasing polarity. Okay. Which one of the following statements false? R and S configuration corresponds to enantiomers of an optically active compound. The process of converting an optically active compound into racemate is called racemization. A molecule containing plane of symmetry can be optically active. The optical isomers that are not enantiomers are called diastereoisomers. E. All chiral objects are asymmetric. You know that R and S configuration by assigning priority according to the atomic number of linked atom, then they are known as enantiomer. That's the correct statement. Process of converting an optically active compound into racemate, we got it as racemization. Correct statement. A molecule containing plane of symmetry. This is wrong because in order to have a optical activity, one of the conditions is it should not contain plane of symmetry. Therefore, this is the answer. Optical isomers that are not enantiomers are called diastereoisomers, right? All chiral objects are asymmetric, right? So, this is the answer. For optical activity, there are three preconditions. The molecule should be chiral. The molecule should not be contain plane of symmetry. The mirror image of the molecule should be non-superimposable. So it cannot be superimposable. There should not be plane of symmetry in the molecule. Okay. Which statement is true or false? Periodic classification of elements. So, first one, the properties of the elements are the periodic functions of their atomic numbers. Right one. Non-metallic elements are lesser in number than metallic elements. Right. The first ionization energies of the elements along a period do not vary in a regular manner with increase in atomic number. You can see that there is not just increase. Okay. For transition elements, the d electrons are filled monotonically with the increase in atomic number. Monotonically means continuously filled according to the increase in atomic number. This is not right because you can see that after 3p, 4s will be filled, then 3d will be filled. So this is not monotonic filling. So this is wrong. Both first ionization energies of the elements along a period do not vary in a regular manner with increase. Right one. For transition, the electrons are not filled mono. This is correct. So this one is the answer. Properties of the elements are periodic. Right. So the answer is D. Wrong statement. Which element has the highest first ionization potential? Nitrogen, neon, hydrogen, helium, and lithium. What do you mean by ionization energy or ionization potential? It's energy required to remove the most loosely bound electron. So it increases from left to right of the periodic table. So let us go for the answer. This is the ionization energy curve. Here it is not regularly increasing. Look that beryllium and such compounds are there. So this is the pattern, loosely bound electron, valence electron. So due to small size and fully filled inert gas configuration, helium is having the highest ionization energy. So general